Okay, these are my topology recommendations for learning manifolds. Number one, we have Loring 2's Introduction to Manifolds. This is an excellent reference. I was taking a graduate manifolds course, and the main reference was this book here, John M. Lee, Introduction to Smooth Manifolds. This is a great book, but it's quite dense, and there's a lot of in detail examples, and the theory is built somewhat slowly. And so this is a great book for when you are learning the material, maybe for a second reading, or a great reference textbook. But I would highly recommend this resource for learning manifolds when you just first learn it, okay? And I just love the exposition. Loring W2, I just love the way that he writes the proofs. His notation is very clear, and just the discourse and the style of the proofwriting is just so clear to me. So I really highly recommend this textbook. I don't know where I'd be without this textbook in terms of my manifold knowledge. And then we got the follow-up to this book, Introduction to Manifolds. We've got this book, Differential Geometry. This is a book that I'm currently studying for my research. I'm reviewing differential geometry, and I'm using this textbook. The reason is because I just love this author, Loring W2. The exposition is just so good. And we could just look at the, you could just look at the, for those of you that don't like people that highlight their textbooks, I'm sorry, but I like to highlight my textbooks. Yeah, if we just take a look at the table of contents here. So basically, what do we have here? So chapter 1, curvature and vector fields. We're going to get into surfaces in space, and covering Gauss's theorem, covering Gauss-Bonnet. And then, yeah, we're going to do basically the full treatment of the introduction to differential geometry. Okay, Riemannian curvature tensor, all the math that you need to learn general relativity is going to be right in here. Let me just quickly share with you the table of contents of this introduction to manifolds here. Okay, let's see. Yeah, so got chapter 1 is Euclidean spaces, and then chapter 2 is manifold. So chapter 1 kind of sets up the manifold framework on Rn. So it kind of builds your intuition, does everything in Rn first. Then it defines a manifold and starts generalizing this these constructions to manifolds. Okay. Now I will highly recommend, let's see, the chapter 3 right here, the tangent space, okay? I learned so much from this chapter. Chapter 3, the tangent space. I don't know where I'd be without this chapter. All right? And yeah. We then have, oh yeah, for my previous video, for the proof of the divergence theorem, you can see partitions of unity, bump functions, and partitions of unity. Here's a proof of the existence of a partition of unity. And then, yeah, we have chapter 4, Lie groups and Lie algebras, super critical topic. I'm currently reading a book by Brian C. Hall on this subject. Chapter 5, differential forms. Chapter 6, integration. This is one of the textbooks that I've read pretty much all the way through, or at least I read up to chapter 6, and then I think I read the start of chapter 7. And we've got some good appendices here. So the appendices are going to tell you the prerequisites to this textbook, okay? So they're going to tell you what you need. And we got some point set topology. So you'd learn this in an introduction to analysis class or an introduction to topology class. You really don't need a full topology class, though, for this prerequisite. It's just kind of a more basic topology that you'd learn in like an introduction to analysis class. Then you need the inverse function theorem. So this is a key analysis result. You might learn in calculus, but you probably learn it in an analysis. So basically the main prerequisite is going to be analysis and some point set topology. And then also some linear algebra. Linear algebra is going to be key, but you're not going to need to be an expert in linear algebra. You're going to need to know the basics of an undergraduate level treatment of linear algebra. And then finally, an interesting appendix on the quaternions and the symplectic group. I might have to go back there. I'm personally super interested in the quaternions and the octonions. Now, let me just add one more resource for you all that was super helpful to me. So it's going to be the following resource. So let me just open a new page here. Okay, so if I search up Wang manifolds, okay, and then let's look up lecture. Okay, right here, Wang manifolds lecture. Don't just read it is the title, okay? Click on this link here, and guess what? These are some of the best freaking manifold lecture notes you could ever find. Let me turn off this extension real quick. Sorry, one second. Stop it. Sorry guys, one second. Let's look it up over here. Okay, Wang manifolds lecture. Okay, here we go. Now, computer's acting hella weird. Okay, here's the link. This is what I wanted to get for y'all. So this link right here, okay? This is the start of the lecture notes. You can see here's a full course that this professor taught on Introduction to Smooth Manifolds, okay? And you can see Lee and Tu, the first two references are the two references that I recommended. There's also this book, Differential Topology by Gilman Pollack. That's another common reference. So here's lecture 1, and these lecture notes, okay, are literally saved me in the graduate manifolds class. I relied upon these. So now if I go to this link here and I just go to the course itself, okay, this course, this professor taught a course on manifolds a while back and has all the lectures up here and problem sets. These lecture notes are some of the best I've ever seen. These lecture notes are so good, it's not even funny how good they are. They're better than a textbook, to be honest. They're better than any freaking textbook. It's insane how good these lecture notes are. And he has one on manifolds. He also has a course on Riemannian geometry. So let's just find that real quick. I think it's like 2021 spring. Let's see. 2021 spring. Maybe I'll get lucky. Yeah. No. Some real analysis notes. Although for those of you taking real analysis, you might have some good resources there. 2022 spring. Nope. 2020. What is going on? Oh, this is going to be a terrible video. My bad, guys. 2021 spring? I already checked that. Aha, here we go. Okay, 2024 spring, Riemannian geometry. Okay, bingo, right there. A full lecture notes on Riemannian geometry, so you can cover this after you've covered manifolds, after you've covered the manifolds topics. And just look at that. These lecture notes, I'm telling you about these lecture notes. If you haven't read Wang's lecture notes, they are like the bomb. Like, they're so good. I can't even, like, they freaking saved me in graduate manifolds. You have to check out these lecture notes, guys. They're super good. Sorry for taking up forever in that video. Okay. Have a nice day.